The NBA is fantastic. That's why it's my favorite sport of all time. In the summer of 2019, expectations in the West are at an all-time high. It's your boy Ransom, and you know we do it for the culture. And today we're talking about the top 7 NBA teams that got something to prove. We start the list off at number 7, the Dallas Mavericks. Their win-loss ratio is 33-49, and that's not too good in the West at all. Now also, they drafted Luka Doncic, who almost became an all-star last year. I think that he can be an all-star this year. Actually, I guarantee that he's going to be an all-star this year. They also picked up Kristaps Porzingis through a trade with the New York Knicks, Goran Dragic from Miami Heat, and they also picked up Isaiah Roby from the draft. Now, they have something to prove because of all the hype around their young stars. Porzingis used to be an all-star before his injury, and Luka Doncic was the MVP of the league in his EuroLeague days, which was last year. Hit me up in the comment section below. Do you think Porzingis is going to return to form back to his New York days, to the Unicorn days, or do you think he's going to need another year? I personally think that he's going to return to form. I mean, him and Luka Doncic are going to be a dynamic duo in this league for years to come. In addition, Porzingis just signed a max contract with the Dallas Mavericks, so he ain't going nowhere for a while. I got them making the playoffs. Coming in at number 6, we got the Utah Jazz. Now, the Utah Jazz, their record was 50-32. They made a major trade at point guard for Mike Conley, and they shipped off Ricky Rubio. Mike Conley will be a perfect fit with Donovan Mitchell, so he can step up his game, and Mike Conley can show him the ropes a little bit. They also picked up Boban Bogdanovic, who is an amazing 3-and-D player. They got bounced out of the playoffs the first round, so Donovan Mitchell is going to be looking for blood. This team is really good. They got a solid defensive presence, and they got a really good bench, and they're just good all around. There's been a lot of hype surrounding this team ever since they picked up Mike Conley. So let's see how good of a fit that will be with Donovan Mitchell. I personally think that they're going to fit well. You know, they got bounced out of the first round because they played the Rockets. So it is what it is. My opinion is they're a really good team. They're going to win a lot of games. They'll probably make a decent seed in the playoffs and give one of these championship teams a run for their money. That's how good these guys are. But unfortunately, I don't see them winning a championship this year. At number 5 of teams that got something to prove, we got the Golden State Warriors. Now, the Golden State Warriors is a tricky team. They were the number 1 seed last year with 57 wins and 25 losses. But they had so many injuries, it was ridiculous. Also, they lost Kevin Durant. So that's a definite huge blow in their offense and their defense. But they picked up D'Angelo Russell, so that should bridge the gap a bit. You know, we'll see how he will fit and how the team will run. Hopefully the team runs well without Klay Thompson because he tore his ACL late in Game 6 of the finals. So people don't know whether the Golden State Warriors are going to even make the playoffs. Comment in the comment section below if you think the Golden State Warriors is going to make the playoffs. I personally think that they're going to make the playoffs, but it might be a lower seed, maybe a 7, maybe a 6. They still got Steph Curry, and he's determined more than ever. People say that he's going to be gunning for the MVP this year. The Golden State Warriors have something to prove simply because Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green they're back to their original core that won the 2015 championship. And also, they got to prove to the world that they can win and win big without Kevin Durant being on their team. Unfortunately, added D'Lo doesn't make them a championship contender, but they'll definitely make the playoffs. Well, they should at least. Coming on in at number 4, we got the Portland Trailblazers. Now, the Portland Trailblazers had an amazing season last year, and they had a really deep playoff run last year as well. Their win percentage was 53 games to 29, and they pretty much brought the same team that they brought back last year. It was pretty much the same core guys. They did add Hassan Whiteside. The Blazers got something to prove because the last 2 years they've been bounced out with sweeps. That's embarrassing. Dame Lillard did sign a major contract, and so did CJ McCollum. They'll be together for years. Coming in at number 3, we got the LA Clippers. Wow, what a turnaround the LA Clippers have done. They had a 48-34 win-loss record, and they were amazing in the playoffs. They played really hard. They played the Golden State Warriors. They beat them 2 games. They took them to 6 games. They played really hard. But it's not what they did in the playoffs. It's what they did in free agency. They picked up Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. 2 amazing players. Paul George was 3rd in the MVP voting, and Kawhi Leonard won a championship last year and won the MVP of the finals. So those are the type of caliber players that are coming to the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, the Clippers got a lot to prove, simply because of all the talent that's on the Clippers. They got Lou Williams. They got Montrezl Harrell. They got a bench. They got a starting 5. They got Doc Rivers. It's a real sexy team. Also because the media dubbed them as the best team in the NBA. And they share the same building or arena with the Los Angeles Lakers. So that's going to bring a lot of controversy right there in itself. And most importantly, they need to lose the stigma of being the little brother in LA to the Los Angeles Lakers. They need to get their own stadium or something like that. They're going to be a good team. Coming in at number 2, we got the Houston Rockets. Now, the Houston Rockets had a historical season last year with James Harden scoring buckets at will. He was just hitting threes left and right. Their record was 53-29, but they fell short in the playoffs with Chris Paul. They recently traded Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook. Houston has to prove that Westbrook and James Harden can coexist on one court together. And that Westbrook was the piece that they needed to put them over the top to win a championship. It's going to be a real hard struggle for them, but I think they'll come close. Last but not least, we have the number 1 team that's got something to prove, the Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers have the most to prove in the NBA to date. Their record was 37-45. So they didn't make the playoffs. They were far from making the playoffs. Because LeBron James got injured for the very first time. He pulled a groin, and that kept them sidelined for a lot of games. During those games, the young core didn't really gel together like they were supposed to. Because of that, the Lakers decided to clean house and trade for Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis wound up asking for a trade mid-season, so the Pelicans made it happen. The Lakers then rounded the team off with players like Boogie Cousins and Danny Green, and they're projected to win it all. The Lakers got so much they need to prove. Between health-wise, with LeBron's groin injury and Boogie Cousins' Achilles injury, you got Anthony Davis, who needs to re-sign with the Lakers next year. He threw a bug in the air saying that he wanted to go home, just like LeBron and other superstars love to do. This is a championship or bust season for the Lakers. I think they got it. For the culture.